After the success of their first limited edition collaboration, HyperX and Ducky are back at it again with another limited edition HyperX Ducky One 2 Mini with a total of 6,500 units, available at $110. While much of it is very similar to the first generation, there are some nice differences this time around. A black colorway keeps things nice and slick while still offering a 60% compact layout and HyperX's red linear switches. So let's take a closer look at the HyperX Ducky One 2 Mini. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Toys. Be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications with the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I'm Jordan with 9 to 5 Toys, and my first impressions pulling the HyperX Ducky One 2 Mini out of the box was that it feels very solid. And not in like an overly heavy way, but it doesn't make a sound when you shake this thing. You know, not a rattle, not a peep. This time around, the bottom is a glossy black instead of that bright HyperX red, and there is still the large plate that shows off what number the keyboard is in the build series. There's a single USB-C port on the left side of the keyboard and 2-step feet for getting a good angle for typing. Also on the bottom of the keyboard are 4 dip switches that can toggle functions like the Windows key, N key rollover, and more, which is outlined in the manual. Included with the keyboard is a USB-C cable, user manual, keycap puller, some swappable keycaps for arrow keys, a different spacebar, and some other HyperX and Ducky themed pieces. In the first version, a lot of these specialty pieces were bright red like the back of the keyboard, but to match this new edition's colorway, these are now gray and black instead. As a 60% layout keyboard, the HyperX Ducky One 2 Mini does sacrifice some functionality in the form of compact design. Personally, this is my favorite way to game. I love having the extra room for large mouse movements when playing FPS games. But on the other hand, I do use arrow keys and also the page up and page down and home buttons quite a bit while working and editing videos. I found that a 65% layout like the Drop Alt is best suited as a dual purpose board for me. But that will totally depend on what you use a keyboard for most often. Underneath the Ducky PBT double shot seamless keycaps are HyperX's red linear switches. With an operating force of 45 grams and an actuation point of 1.8 millimeters, they're plenty fast. And with an expected lifespan of 80 million keystrokes, they should last for quite a while as well. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of linear switches. They're not usually my number one choice, but I've actually been really impressed with how these feel and sound. And so here we'll do a sound test. Hopefully you can tell in that sound test how solid everything feels and how it performs as well. Another highlight of the HyperX Ducky One 2 Mini is the RGB lighting, which you can obviously see just right here. And even with my studio lights on, it's still coming through plenty bright, so it gives you a good idea of how brilliant this light is. The show starts right from plugging in the board and has a cycling spectrum designed by default with other available modes available by cycling through. The RGB lighting can also be customized with different RGB lighting zones, but this takes a little more time and effort than cycling through the preset variations. Competition is starting to get pretty tight in this segment though. As 60% keyboards and compact, more enthusiast keyboards become more popular, other companies are starting to pick them up, like HyperX, and Razer just released their Huntsman Mini, which is a 60% with optical switches as well. There's Glorious with their GMMK compact. So really it's a great time to be getting into mechanical keyboards because there are a ton of great ways to build your own, but there are also companies now that are offering, ready to go options right out of the box. At $110, the HyperX Ducky One 2 Mini is the same price as the Glorious GMMK Compact and is about $10 to $20 cheaper than the Razer Huntsman Mini, depending on which switches you go with on the Razer. And while the HyperX lacks the hot swappable feature of the Glorious GMMK, if you do find yourself liking these switches, I do think this has an incredible build quality to it that I've just been really impressed with. So overall, wrapping up here, like I said, it is a great time to be getting into mechanical keyboards. Like I am, I'm not the biggest enthusiast, but there are so many great ways to do that now with the Drop Alt, with the Glorious GMMK, and other ready-to-go options just like this, the HyperX Ducky One 2 Mini. And do keep in mind that just like the first version, this is a limited edition with only 6,500 units available. So when this goes on sale tomorrow morning, it could go quickly. So if this is something you're wanting to pick up, be sure to get on HyperX's website and check that out as soon as possible. And we'll have a link to that down in the description below. That'll do it for our review of the HyperX Ducky One 2 Mini limited edition keyboard. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. This is Jordan with 9to5 Toys.